You can never rest on the last pedal stroke you've done. You have to do another one and a little bit more.
Wanted to buy a car, so you were selling bikes for
Yes,
that.
correct. All these challenges make you strong, and it was a great school for us.
What strategy do you think is helping you get customers the best?
I don't want to only sell them a bike. I always say this is the beginning. We will follow up. We will take you on that journey with us.
And you have to always stay ahead because things are moving very fast.
Our competition is good because that keeps me and my team on our toes.
When you turn your hobby into a business, you start hating it.
If you can do that, fantastic, then you're a winner. Then you don't even need to go to work.
Welcome to the 100X podcast, where we explore the journey of exceptional individuals. Today we have Wolfgang Hohmann, founder of Wolfi's, a leading cycling store known for quality and innovation. We'll delve into Wolfi's journey, his insights on the sports industry, and the secrets behind his success. Wolfgang Hohmann, known as Wolfi's. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's an exciting episode because we'll be talking about someone who changed everything when it comes to the bike and the cycling industry here, not only in Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East. I'm very excited about that.
Thank you so much for saying that, And it's always a good time. I love to do this podcast and look back at the 22 years we've been in the UAE and about all the things we have achieved with the people here. And I'm very proud of telling you the story and looking forward to our conversation.
So how old are you now, Wolfi?
53.
53,
Yeah,
but 53. You look 33.
Thank you.
Is that cycling? Is that the secret?
I'm sure. I'm sure. Cycling is for sure the secret for a lot of things in my life. And I think the discipline you have, getting up in the morning, going on a bike, having the physical exercise, having the mental time for myself on the bike, and obviously the business, which was very successful. I think all of these things come together. And I'm very happy that in an early stage it was introduced to me, that the bicycle, and I fell in love with the bicycle, what it does to people, and that I continued on that journey. But I will tell you all about it, about my journey.
So let's talk about Wolfi. What is it exactly?
Wolfi's is our business here. And when we came to the UAE, we called it Wolfi's Bike Shop. But then I think people like to shorten the name. And over the years, it became Wolfi's. And now we're officially going under Wolfi's.
It's more catchy.
It's more catchy, yeah. I think it's something we've seen. And I think it's very important for me that it's related to my name, because I feel really proud about what we're doing. And but it's an amazing story that we could build here in the last 22 years, and I'm very happy that we have reached so many people in this time.
So you're a cycling shop, so you sell bicycles, and as well, I think you are also in other services as well. You have a performance center now where you're doing different activities, physiotherapy. Do you offer bicycle repairs as well for your current bicycles? So you've actually dominated the cycling industry. Is that true?
Yes, I think we have developed it, and if you say dominated, yes, maybe as well in a way. We started as a place where people could bring their bike, repair it. We were selling bikes. That was the early days of the development of the sport in the UAE and worldwide as well. That cycling became more important for people to be healthier in the longevity movement. And now we've expanded in the last couple of years, thanks to our partnership with Abu Dhabi. We have expanded into an events business. We have expanded into a high performance center, as you mentioned. We have a coffee shop. We have an amazing Colnago store where we're showcasing the most beautiful bikes around the world. And now we're reaching so many people. We have branches in Abu Dhabi. We have branches in Al Khanish, in Dubai, Yas Marina Circuit, which is an amazing facility to ride your bike. In Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, we have a big rental facility. So we have expanded in many different business operations, and we're trying to reach as many people. The vision is simple. We want to get more people to enjoy and fall in love with cycling.
Wolfi started 22 years ago. What inspired you to start it?
My brother Lothar lived here in the UAE, and I had a business together with my wife and my daughter in Germany, in the Black Forest, which is a beautiful place to ride your bike. And we came here for vacation and saw that the UAE is really a striving new destination. And we thought, okay, cycling is something which is maybe not as developed. And my brother said, listen, you should really give it a try. And in August 2002, we sent a container, 40-foot container on the way. I jumped into a plane, arriving in the middle of summer in Dubai, opened our store on Sheikh Zayed Road.
You had the 2 containers.
Yes.
One for furniture, one's for
Yeah, it
the
was
bikes.
actually a mixed container. It wasn't so many bikes. I couldn't afford so many bikes to bring them over because
How many bikes did you get in the beginning?
about 100.
100 bikes.
100
You were
bikes.
like, I'm going to start with 100.
Yes.
Okay, afterwards?
That's all I could afford. And you know, I mean, I think that the story was we had everything we had was in that container. And I brought my family to the UAE and we started the business. And I was surprised because I was kind of expecting that you pay, for example, school, everything you pay monthly. But everything at that time was paid by a year in advance.
So you needed a lot of money to pay up front.
And I was out of money very, very quickly. I think within the first couple of weeks, we were out of money. And we really needed to focus on making the business work as quickly as possible. And looking back, my upbringing, my first work in Germany was I worked in a hotel. I have 2 apprenticeships. One is called Hotel Fachmann, which is everything around hospitality, what you have to do in a hotel, reception, housekeeping, the kitchen, and the second apprenticeship as a chef. And I think what I learned in these early years in my career to have a focus on the customer and have a hospitality mindset, I think this is what we really combined with the passion for cycling and the technology of cycling and the hospitality level and the customer focus. I think that was something very new and as well obviously inspired by the 5-star, 6-star, 7-star resorts of the UAE. We were always inspired by the level of excellence provided from everyone in the UAE. I think this is really, if people ask me, describe UAE in a few words, and I said it's the desire to be excellent. And that was always driving us. From the first day, we needed to make it excellent.
So after you were suffering, not being able to sell, and the business was very challenging, how did you flip that?
You know, it's interesting. I couldn't really pinpoint the moment when it flipped because it took a long time. And people ask me sometimes, how long did it take? I would say it took about 10 years for us to work and really kind of turn every bike around and again and kind of save money in order to be able to afford to send the next container. Because at that time, we were only be able to ship something once we prepaid. So we needed to save up the money and be very, very careful and very frugal with our expenditure. And so we saved up the money to buy the next container, send the money to Switzerland, to Germany, to our suppliers. Once they had the money, they started packing. They sent the container, which is another 4 to 6 weeks on the way.
The shipping costs probably crazy.
Yes, yes. And then you had to do I went to customs office, did the customs clearance and all of this. At that time, it was no digital things. It was wooden benches where you sit and submit your documents and do all of this. But again, it was an interesting journey. I think with the leadership kind of taking notice of the sport, building the amazing facilities we have in the UAE, Al Qudra cycle track and all the other cycle tracks. I think that was a breakthrough when people felt, first of all, a lot of people were doing it and were cycling, and they had friends who had heard they were cycling, and then the cycle tracks were provided. I think that was a big breakthrough for us to get more people on bikes.
So you're saying the culture shift towards more towards cycling was the reason why your business became better, or
Yes.
it got more sales
Yes.
afterwards? Because in the beginning, it was hard to get that many people to cycle.
Yes.
Is that?
Yes. I remember the days where I was a master in every conversation I had with anyone. Within a few minutes, I got them to speak about cycling, or I introduced cycling to them, and I was really trying to get them, first of all, because I think it is great, and my true belief that once you let a bicycle be introduced into your life and let it be taking part of your life, I think your life becomes better. I think it's always a safe place to be when you think of a place where you can have your family and you can ride your bike. I think that's a place we all desire to be there. And then I think the community and the sports and the physical well-being of cycling. So that was a true belief I had to introduce it to everyone. And I think that's still a passion I have today, and that drives me to go to work. I want to introduce cycling each and every day to at least one person. And I want to maybe today for you, we need to go maybe on a cycle trip.
I think that's the next plan.
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
We need to do this.
If I'm going to look this young, then for sure.
Yes, very good. Okay, yes.
So let's go back. I want to go back to the 80s.
Yes.
Or let's go back before that, Wolfi as a child.
Yes.
And you had an entrepreneurial mindset because your parents were
Yes.
entrepreneurs.
Yes, correct.
You were helping them unload trucks, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Very good. Altogether, we are 6 children. So I have 2 siblings still in Germany. My oldest brother unfortunately passed away. But yes, I was inspired by my family. We had a business for drinks and delivering to places. We brought the water and the juices and all the other things to restaurants, to private homes. And I remember as a kid when my father came home and he had the truck full of the kettles of beer and all of the other products, and I was helping to unload the truck. And it was just normal for us to work 7 days a week. It was obviously restaurants were open. There were events which we need to cater for and so on. And it was always good to me. And I saw my parents working together on this project and raising 4 children at a time. I was never shy to work, and seeing them doing this and living this in front of us, it was a great school for us. Yeah.
You learned a lot from that experience.
Yes, absolutely.
And then when you started working as a chef,
yes,
and cooking, and at the same time you got another job, right?
Yes.
What was it?
I worked at certain times. I had 3 jobs at the same time.
3 jobs at the same time?
Yes.
What were they?
I was working in a hospital as a chef because I was trained as a chef. So I chose that job because first of all, it was a secure place to work. I could start very early morning. I started kind of at 5 o'clock in the morning for the early shift. My shift finished at 2 o'clock. Which allowed me to open my bike business for a couple of hours, and then I worked in a gym. At that time, there was not so much electronics, so you needed to check the membership cards, you needed to do the protein drinks, the isotonic drinks, to give some advice to the people in the gym, and it was a great way to recruit customers as well while I was in the gym. So I worked from 7 to 10. I worked in the gym, and the next morning I started again to work in the hospital. And there was a time when there was a reform of the healthcare system in Germany. And they were looking to reduce the cost of staff, and that was the moment where I lost my job because I was the person I was married at the time. I was well trained. I had my own business, and they said, okay, you're the one person we can lay off to be socially responsible to all of the other people in the company. But it was a shock, yeah, when you build your business and you reinvest everything in your business. But at the same time, looking back, it was the best thing, maybe one of the great things in my life where happened to just push me into this area where the passion, where I said, okay, this is the chance now for me to get full time into my bike business. Luckily, with the help and support of my wife, she was still working, and we were kind of building the business and reinvesting into the business, bike by bike by bike.
What got you interested in bikes?
You know, the first thing was in my apprenticeship as a Hotelfachmann. We started. This was in the beautiful Black Forest in Germany, where I grew up, and we had these bikes and we rented them to our hotel guests, and we could see how they enjoyed riding through the forest. And they asked us if they can buy the bikes, and I saw the opportunity to make some extra money. Yeah, and when I was 16 at the time, and I wanted to
buy a
car. And I thought that would be nice, and this extra income would.
You wanted to buy a car, so you were selling bikes for that.
Yes, correct. And but you know, when you do this and you see how nice it is, and as well being on your own and working on your own and seeing a business grow, even if it was very small, because at the beginning I really could only afford one bike, which I saved up some money. I invested in one bike. I sold it. I did this a couple of times. Then I had enough money saved up to buy a second bike. And so I always had this business next to my regular work, and I grew it. And it took, I would say, another 15 years to grow that business until it came to the point when we then decided to move to the UE.
And how was your relationship with your brothers growing up?
Good. You know, it's obviously challenging when you have 3 older brothers. It's challenging. It's every time you be inspired by them, especially my oldest brother, who was a very sporty athlete, and he was the first in the family who got a mountain bike, and he was overall a very, very sporty person. But you're always challenged. Yeah, you're challenged by your brothers and trying to live up to them and trying to live up to what they have already achieved. I wasn't a very sporty child, so that came a little bit later. But all of these things are good, and I really discovered this then with the leadership of my brother, that the cycling was a sport, and I kind of fell in love with exercising in general, going to the gym, playing tennis, exploring the Black Forest, and again making friendships. And I think it's now something where we need to make sure that the young generation, we don't remove all the challenges for them. I think it's very important that the young generation, they face some challenges, because all these challenges make you strong, and it's just biology that we need to overload our system mentally and physically in order to get better. Yeah, and I think
You had
this is
3
something-
jobs.
Yes, making many jobs, doing sports, doing all of this, and it's not having it easy. It's the challenge which you hopefully embrace and you enjoy it. But I think this really is a great journey if you be challenged.
And what's good about that is all your brothers are entrepreneurs, so all of you are pushing each other when it comes to business.
Yes.
When it comes to growth.
Yes.
What do you think that having these skills when you were a chef, how did that help you in your cycling business?
I think the hospitality mindset is something very strong, but as well when you work in the kitchen and it's a very high pressure environment. And I really appreciate all the chefs and all the work been done here in the UAE. But in the kitchen, you have only that few minutes to prepare the dish to an excellent level. And when I was working as a chef, we were working at a very high level. It's a 1-star Michelin restaurants, and the level of expectation from the teams and the teamwork and the precise execution of a task at that moment under high pressure really formed me in my early days of working. And it, especially we then work until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning in a restaurant, which is not unusually in the hospitality side. Then if you only have to work until 6 or 7 in the evening and you close your shop, you almost feel you have a half day off. So all of this is something special. And again, in the amazing facilities and hotels we have in UAE, I think if you walk into a hotel and you experience a true level of UAE and the hospitality side, I think it's something very special. And we want that all of the places as Wolfies, it's the same feeling. You walk in and you feel like people are truly interested in to take care of all of your needs and look after you.
But what I know about you, Wolfi, that you love cooking, you love the culinary scene, you love feeding people when you were working in the hospital. And at the same time, you love cycling.
Yes.
And it's a big passion.
Yes.
Why not open a restaurant? Why choose to open a cycling store?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think at that time, I think the 20 years ago, the restaurant culture wasn't as developed, so that I always liked as well to work with people. And when you're in the kitchen, I think I always felt I was too removed. I wasn't close enough to the customer. And I think this combination of working with the customer directly and seeing it, and I feel we had our 20th anniversary 2 years ago, and I was speaking to the team, and it's always a great time to reflect.
By the way.
Thank you very much. And to reflect, and I said, I think we have a very, very special job, and I don't think there's many jobs and work which is the similar way, because we are dealing with children from an age of 2 to 3 when they start on the walker bike, doing their first steps, exploring their surroundings and learning how to cycle and becoming independent. We have people, we have athletes who we kind of introduced to the sport and are now participating in the Olympic Games and riding at Ironman level and participating in national teams and so on, up to people who are 60, 70 years of age. So we really have a long period where we go alongside our customers to make them healthy, to make them physically and mentally stronger. We're building communities, and I don't think there's many jobs. And I think in a restaurant, I couldn't have achieved the same success. And for me, my personal success.
I think also, like you said, you loved working with people, and that allowed you more to socialize, to help them, and at different parts of their lifetime. Tell me about Wolfi's business model. How is it like?
You know, I feel still, somebody's asking me, and sometimes you travel the world, and they said, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm selling bicycles, and I'm getting people onto bikes. Yeah, and that's still as simple as it is. That's still the point of our business. We want to get people onto bikes, and we want to introduce the sport and the passion. We want to instill the passion into other people, and just want to make them feel how we feel when we're riding together, when we have the community, when you're exhausted after a bike ride, but then the feeling you get from this accomplishment. We want to make them part of the community. We make them part of the cycling culture of the UAE. And I think this is the business model, yeah, and do this really at a very friendly and accommodating way, combining or getting the best products from all around the world, creating this for our customers.
And these products are coming from Germany and Switzerland mostly?
All over the world, yeah. We're working with Italian companies, Australian, Asian, I think we were very lucky when we came to the UE that we were one of the first, and we could pick the best brands, what we feel, when it comes to service, when it comes to quality of the products. And we have a very unique selection in Wolfi's. In all of the stores, we're representing about 60 plus of the best brands around the world. And I think that's a very fortunate position we're in, because it's not so common that somebody has all of these brands combined under one roof. Because
How
normally,
many branches do you have now?
we have 6 branches of retail, and altogether 12 business units, with Gulf Multisports is the events company, with the high performance center, with the rental, with the service course coffee shop, with the Colnago experience center. So altogether it's 12 business units.
What strategy do you think is helping you get customers the best?
I think trying to look after them as good as we can. And it's really important that when a customer comes to our door, and that we are really trying to help them as good as we can. And it's, for example, we don't pay a commission to our sales team. We don't do that, because we always felt it was then maybe a bit of a drive to sell more to a customer or sell different products to customers. It's really important for us that a customer, that we analyze and identify together with the customer what is the best product for him right now. And that when we take him, we say our team is success managers. We want to make sure that our customers are as successful as possible, and as accomplishing as much as possible in their sports career. And we want to be with them as well. We don't want to only sell them a bike. I always say this is the beginning of the journey. It's for sure not the end. Yeah, we will follow up. We will have conversations with you. We will take you on that journey with us, and we want that you cycle beside us on that journey all the time.
And how many people do you have on your team right now?
Almost 150 people are working in the company.
And you started by?
We were my wife, myself, and 2 mechanics.
Wow,
when we started.
That's a huge change,
Yes.
huge growth. And how do you make sure everyone's educated on bikes to help the customers?
We are lucky that we have a lot of people who are passionate from their own drive, that they already know cycling and they practice it themselves. But we spend a lot of time. It's daily training in the workshop. It's daily training in the sales team. With the sales team, we're using tools like video platforms. They're called Miyagi, where we post videos and we can ask questions. We have something we're calling the Wolfi's University, where we're trying to educate our team. We have something we call Wolfi's Wisdom.
Do you teach in Wolfi's University?
Yes. We want to get the team together, because again, I think it's important. Obviously, the level of customer service can only come once we're really specialists in our field and we know about the product and we know everything about the product and we can really recommend the product. And I think it is good for the team as well to get confident and be secure in their work. And we're really looking for excellence. We're looking for one of the questions we always ask ourselves: is it world class? Is it world class what we're providing? Is it the product? Is it the service? Is it the way we're handling the customer, the experience for the customer? These are all things which are every day on my mind, and every day we're communicating this with the team, and we are striving every day for the excellence. And again, this is again the UE. This is something where the fast pace I have experienced over the last 22 years, and the speed and the vision the leadership gives us in the UE is, I don't know any other place in the world where this is happening.
And you have to always stay ahead.
Yes.
Because things are moving very fast.
Yes.
So how do you make sure you stay ahead? How does Wolfi stay ahead when it comes to, let's say, a new competition coming up?
Our competition is good. I always feel good. Bring it on, because that keeps me and my team on our toes. I think it is challenging for my team because I'm never really satisfied or comfortable within myself. Not that I'm unhappy, but I never really, when we reach a certain milestone or we reach a certain level of service, I go back and I want to see, can we do it any better? And this is a constant thing in my head. I don't really know where it comes from, but it's a constant question I'm asking myself. And as well, when people speak about, and we have been voted as one of the best shops in the world. There were independent magazines now for several times that they say, if you're looking for a bicycle store in Mudariat, what we built there on the island with the rental station, with the mountain bike track, with the road cycling track, with the Colnago experience center, and all of this, you need to go there. And I always celebrate this in myself for a few seconds, and I think, okay, that's great. Thank you for mentioning that we are the best. But then at the same time, I'm feeling, okay, if somebody comes now to our store, they expect the best. And what is it? What's new? What's special? What's exciting? What is maybe something they have never seen before in any other store in the world? And that's a constant drive. And I'm sure that's sometimes very challenging for my team, because I'm constantly looking for these marginal gains, for this extra level of performance, and that can be quite tiring. But cycling is a sport which is tiring. We see the team of the UE, Tadej Pogačar. I'm sure they have to come up with new strategies again to win the third time the Tour de France. It's a never-ending story, and that's life, and I think that's nice. It's like a cycling ride. You can never rest on the last pedal stroke you've done. You have to do another one and a little bit more.
The most expensive bike, how much is it?
I think you can spend 100,000 dirhams plus if you look at all the best equipment in the world. But we feel it's important that for the life or for the state the person is in and the demand he has, if you want to ride with your family, or you want to be a competitive triathlete or road cyclist, you want to do adventurous sports on a mountain bike, then it's a different bike. And we sell bikes as well for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 dirhams if it suits the purpose and suits the lifestyle of the person. We are completely fine with that. We just want to make sure that you and the bike is a perfect match.
And when it comes to your e-commerce business,
yes,
how is it doing?
It's good. We do love the personal touch with the customer, because we want to get to know our customers before
Are
we help
people
them.
buying
Yes.
bikes online?
Bikes, we're not so keen to sell them online, because as well, we obviously using in our stores, we have a very sophisticated laser technology to measure you, to make sure you're really comfortable on the bike. We measure your body, your arm length, your torso length, your body shape. We want to analyze it. We want to see your flexibility. This is all things that can't be done over an internet email conversation or something else. But for sure, when you're missing a spare tube, you're missing an energy bar, you're missing a pump, you're missing a helmet you want to buy, and you know your size, or a jersey or something else, we're so happy to help. And as well, what we felt is we could reach other places in the UE and in the GCC, which are sometimes maybe not as easy to come on a daily or weekly basis and get your visit at Wolfi's in one of the locations. So the key was obviously to go to different locations, to open in a lane, to open close to Sharjah, to be accessible for people, but at the same time we want to be accessible at the Wolfi's quality for 24/7, and that's the way online. And I think a lot of people start their journey, their customer journey online. They want to do a bit of research, they want to discuss, they want to maybe have a first conversation with our trained salespeople online and get a bit of a feeling. But then we will always try to invite you to come to the store to experience the true Wolfi's
I think it's
hospitality.
different, right? When you're trying on the bike,
Yes.
on the helmet, seeing how you look like in the
Yes.
mirror, it's a whole different
Yes.
experience.
Yes. And I think we just feel more comfortable once we're closer with you and we get to know each other. Over a bicycle, a purchase of a bicycle can go over several days, several weeks. It can be several hours we need to spend with you. The fitting takes several hours, the whole process. And I think that's part of the fun, like you're building a car or you're building a house. I think we feel this is such a personal part of the story and such a vital part of the story that we really get to know each other and we really understand what's your background, is there any injuries you had before, what's your purpose, what's the aim, what do you want to get out of that bicycle. And I think that's very important for us to have and the personal connection. You know, I mean, it's cycling is a lot about a personal connection. It's not only about selling a product. That is the side effect of it. In order that we go cycling together, we need a bicycle. But I think it's more about us enjoying an exercise and enjoying sports together and building a relationship and knowing how much work you put in and learning about all of this together and building a friendship on a bike. That is way more important.
A lot of people can't ride a bike. Are they missing out?
We have Wolfi Cycling Academy. Yeah, that was as well something very important for us. When we acquired Gulf Multisports and we said we want to bring more events to the UE, we want to help people to have more quality time with others, to enjoy a competition. We thought, okay, how do we get children and other people who haven't learned how to ride a bike, we get them on a bike and we want to make it comfortable and want to make it accessible, that we have trained trainers in order to show you how to ride a bike. But yes, if you don't know how to ride a bike, we're there for you. Come to the stores. We have the academy. We will show you. We have some tricks and tips for you where we can show you how to ride it. And I think it's never too late. And the only thing you should be embarrassed about is if you don't try. There's no shame of learning new things, and life is all about learning new skills. And I think it's amazing. And you see, we had so many people. We taught them how to ride a bike, and the stories we've heard later on that they enhanced their life and just they felt it was a big achievement for them. Never too late. So if you don't know, please come and see us.
I used to cycle a lot when I was younger, and then when I got older, not so much. But I got inspired when I went to Amsterdam, and I saw in the Netherlands there are like 23 million bikes and like 17 million people.
Yes.
And a lot of these bikes, they fall into the water in the canals.
Yes.
And then they start fishing them.
Yes.
And then they fish around 15,000 bikes a year, where then they repair them and they sell them again.
Yes.
And that's crazy, like the amount of bikes there. So that when you see something like that, it inspires you to go and start doing that.
There's lots of plans for new cycle tracks in the government and in Abu Dhabi, in all of the areas, to build more cycle tracks, and all the new communities have cycling. And I think I think it's so nice if you're on a bicycle and you go to the neighborhood and you're more open. In a car, I think you're kind of closed in and it's very difficult to communicate. But I think if you're on a bicycle in my neighborhood, I see my neighbors, I see other people. It's easy to greet them. I think you're out there, you see the environment, you smell the environment, you're really more engaged in everything. So I think Abu Dhabi has a lot of plans to make other areas of the city accessible, make it easier for people to commute to work. And there's a lot of plans to make this. And we have 6, 7, 8 months of the year where it's really nice to cycle. And I think it's a great development we have ahead of us.
A lot of people say when you turn your hobby into a business, you start hating it. What do you think of that?
I'm sorry for them, but no. You know what I mean? I think it's great, and I think it's everybody's, for all the young people maybe out there, I think it's quite important that you find something you really enjoy doing. And I think if this goes aligned, if your passion and your work and what you really feel what fulfills you in life is the work, then you're a clear winner. And I think I don't like the work-life balance so much, because I feel a balance is always, it's on one side, on the other side. And I think these two things should move very close to each other. And I think if you have the work and life is together and you have something, and I tell you, my work and my life are as close. Wolfi is me, and this is all I have done in my life. And it will always be, and I cannot do this again. And I'm very proud of all of what we have achieved, but my work and my life are very, very close to each other. Yeah, and I think that's very important. And I wish everyone could do that. Everyone should be passionate. I'm sure you're passionate about the podcast you're doing and the work you're doing to educate people. And this is great. If you can do that, fantastic. Then you're a winner. Then you don't even need to go to work. Then you just follow what you like to do. And I think then you're a winner.
You talked about the challenge setting up in the UAE was the culture was still not there in the beginning. What other challenges did you face while building up Wolfi?
You know, first was my English wasn't as good when I came there. I was just practicing in school for a couple of years. And
can I interrupt you for just a second? I want to say bicycle in German. I think it's Fahrrad.
Fahrrad, yes.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, very good. Yes.
Fahrrad.
Have you been many times in Germany? Because your German is, you have quite a few words in your...
Really?
Yes, very good.
I think I should go more.
Yes, you should go. We should go together, and maybe we should cycle.
We'll cycle.
We should cycle.
Is that your way of getting me to cycle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, for sure. No, this is a given. We need to cycle together. Yes.
You said you had the issue with the language.
The language. Yeah, the language was an issue because it was school English, and I came here, and obviously the first couple of days speaking to people, the phone lines weren't as good. I couldn't understand the people. It was very challenging. Yeah. Financing was an issue because we were, I remember the days where we were trying to get a bank loan in order to pay for things. The banks weren't really interested. It was just a business which was not worthy for them to invest. The amounts were too small. Just overall getting business started was not easy. But at the same time, it made us really aware and really, really careful with the way we were working. We really got to appreciate every customer, and at the early days, and I still until today, it is so vital for us that the customers are happy with what we're doing, and we appreciate every time the door is opening in Wolfi's. This is, I always tell, this is our heartbeat. This is what we say to the team. I think this is the heartbeat. If this stops, we can be really, really good in what we're doing. But if the customers are not coming anymore, and we need to show every customer clearly that we appreciate them and we're really happy that they're coming to us, they visit us, they consider us to purchase a bike from us or equipment. I think that's very important. And this was challenging at the beginning. The culture wasn't there, and it took really a lot of time and a lot of effort from our side to just convince people to get on a bike and create this culture. But like everything in life, it's really hard earned and you put a lot of effort into it, I think the victory and the success is even better. It's like you're climbing a mountain on a bicycle. If it's really steep and it's really hard, and on the way up you face some wind, you face that next corner, you face extra gradients, and it's tough. But once you then reach the top, I think you really have achieved something, and that's how we feel over the last 22 years in the UAE. I'm not sure if we reached the top yet. I think we're still climbing. The UAE is growing, and the mountain is growing, and we're ready to face the challenge.
Like Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, when he said, the race to excellence has no finish line. You got to keep going.
Yes.
When it comes to Abu Dhabi and the impact it had on your business, tell me more about that. Did it change anything?
You know, it's very special. We were 19 years, we had our business in Dubai on Sheikh Zayed Road. It was a really thriving business. And obviously when we got the call and the calling to partner with Abu Dhabi, and I remember when they said, it's always when we sit in the Nijlès and we speak about cycling, it's always your name comes up. And I think as well the persistency that we have been in the UAE for so many years was a sign that we're really here for the long term, and I think that was appreciated. And I think the passion of the leadership for cycling itself to promote a healthy lifestyle was there, and that we could play a small role in that development was a blessing. And then partnering with Abu Dhabi opened up a whole new world for us. Obviously opening the shop in Daragat, a lane, the high performance center, the mountain bike track, the road cycling track, the development in Daragat, this velodrome which is coming, the sports hotel which is built. I think we're here on Yas Marina and Yas Island. I think this is a special place, and everybody knows in the Formula One world and all around the world this name is famous, and we hope that Daragat Island is becoming the place for endurance sports, and I think we set everything in place to make this happen. So it's exciting, and I feel as well for my team that we could grow a team and we could give so many people a place to work and strive and be to prosper in the UAE. I think that's amazing. And that was maybe before 19 years. It was our building, but Wolfi's was a company which was maybe it was not easy to expand. But now with that partnership and with the support of the government of Abu Dhabi and with the people of Abu Dhabi, I think we just open up a whole new chapter in Wolfi's, which is really exciting for me.
And I heard also Abu Dhabi was chosen as a cycling city by the UCI,
Correct.
The Union of Cyclists International.
Yes.
And tell me, how did that make you feel, seeing Abu Dhabi chosen on a worldwide level as a cycling hub or a cycling city?
You know, I just returned from Paris from the Olympics, and I was fortunate enough to visit the UAE house, and that's showing the culture of the UAE. And walking into that house was an amazing presentation of the culture of the UAE, and that in 3 occasions cycling was part, or was showcased as a part of the culture of the UAE. And I really had a moment which is really touching for me to see this, and that the UCI has chosen Abu Dhabi as a place to represent cycling around the world. And if I then look back over the last 22 years, which we have worked on, and that has really led to this recognition with the team UAE Emirates, with the UCI, the cycling city, with world championships coming in our region, and all of this is a dream come true. And I think Abu Dhabi really is a place where dreams come true. And I couldn't have thought about this when I started here. So I feel grateful and blessed every day when I wake up in the morning and I can go to work, I can go with my team and develop this, and all of these things are very special for me. And in Paris, when I walked through that exhibition, and I could speak to some of the people from Abu Dhabi who worked there, who just recently got a bike from us, and we had that moment of connection again, and a moment looking back over the last 22 years, which was really special, and really was a touching and emotional moment for me to see that cycling is a part of the UE culture now and is really recognized as a sport. And we had athletes, Safia, participating in the Olympic Games. We have the team ADQ just participating in the Tour de France for females. We had a win of Tadej Pogačar the third time. The UE is on the top of the cycling world, and it's just amazing that I can be a part of it.
Wolfie, you met celebrities, I think, along the way because of the great impact you had in cycling. You've met Manuel Neuer?
Yes, yeah, he's the German goalkeeper of the national team and of FC Bayern Munich, and he came with Mario Götze, who was the goal scorer for Germany in the World Cup when we were in Argentina in the game to win the World Championship. And yeah, they like to visit the UE for their vacation around Christmas, New Year's time, and I got a call from them and said, okay, we're here in town, and obviously great superstars of the German sports scene. And I remember we took them to Al Qudra to experience the UE desert, to ride their bike, and it was kind of the first time both really accomplished sports people and we were riding, and we met a group of other cyclists and we started to kind of race the other group, and they really enjoyed it. So we did a 50-kilometer loop, and we did this a couple of years in a row because they always came in January. And a few years back, Manuel Neuer told me that he fell in love when he was first time cycling with us in Al Qudra. He said this was the first time he was really introduced to sports cycling, and it was obviously amazing to introduce a sport to such an amazing sports person. And now he's an active cyclist, and it's part of his routine, part of his training. And we met other people like Fernando Alonso or Nico Rosberg. We had the great pleasure to meet His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, to cycle with him, alongside him.
Tell me about the cycling with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed.
You know, I mean, obviously a very special moment. We were asked to prepare bikes for an event where His Highness was meeting with people of the family and of the cabinet, and they wanted to introduce the cycling on Yas Marina circuit on the Formula One track, which is accessible for people 3 times a week. And it's a great facility to cycle. And then we prepared the bikes, and obviously everybody was very excited when His Highness came, and you can feel that aura when he walked in and he said hello to everyone and went on the bike, and we were cycling the first loop, and I was kind of behind, and we're just to make sure that everything works perfectly with the bike. And then in the second lap, when other people kind of were struggling to keep up with His Highness, I saw my chance, and I went next to him, and we got some nice pictures and a nice conversation about cycling and about everything. So, I mean, meeting the leadership on a bicycle and meeting people on a bicycle is always a very special moment, because I think it removes the boundaries sometimes you have when you meet them in an official situation. We're on a bicycle and we enjoy the same sport, and it was really some interesting moments. And I always cherish these moments to meet His Highness and other people, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Sheikh Hamdan, and a lot of people we have met over the last couple of years. And it's always on the cycling front where we can introduce the sport to them. And for sure that was as well part of the success, that they fell in love with the sport. They practiced the sport. They showed the people living in the country that it's the right sport to practice. They created unbelievable facilities for people to exercise, opening Yas Marina circuit 3 times a week, building Hudayrat Island, having cycle tracks in Al Watba, having cycle tracks in Al Qudra, in Meydan, Hatta, mountain bike tracks, Alain, the development, Alain cycle track. All of these facilities are really...
It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
Because that motivates people to go cycling as well.
Yes.
Tell me about the new Hudayrat cycling track. How is it?
You know, I mean, I think what you see at the moment is only the beginning on Hudayrat Island. Building the velodrome, building the surf Abu Dhabi, building the sports hotel, building a 25-kilometer cycle track on the island with elevation. I have seen plans, we have worked on plans. And I think if you're into cycling and you're excited about cycling and you like to practice cycling, in the next couple of years, Hudayrat will transform the cycling scene in Abu Dhabi will be the place where people will go and will experience something very special. It's an unheard of and unparalleled facility which is created and the leadership has designed. And I think Hudariat Island in itself, with the area on the left-hand side where people can live and have a special location to, there's some amazing houses, and on the right-hand side of the island, in the area of Emirates Palace, I think having a facility there for all of the sports and really being the home of sports and activation, I think it's going to be extremely exciting. We're very happy that Wolfis is already there, and I always say we work early to start the business there. And I said the Germans, maybe you know, they like to put a towel early on the beach in the morning to reserve the best spot on the beach. And I think this is what we did there. We put our towel early. We built the shop in a very, very good location, and we are now there, be ready for all the developments which are coming in the next couple of years. But I think everybody should be excited about what's happening in Hudariat.
It's very exciting, and I think it's an opportunity for people to go and explore cycling even further.
Yes, and it's going to be a super safe facility where you come with your children. There's different loops. There's BMX facilities where you can introduce people. We have a mountain bike track, and it's a really, really special facility.
If someone would come now and acquire Wolfi, would you sell your business?
No, it's me. It's Wolfi's. No, I have a lot to give. I want to grow it. I'm very grateful for the support we've been given by Abu Dhabi. Without that, it wouldn't have been possible. Yeah, because sometimes you have limitations, and knowing that you have the strongest and best partner by your side gives me a big pleasure and support and mental strength. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited what's coming, and we've still a lots to give. And you said I'm still young, and I'm cycling is something. No, when we want to see where we can take the cycling academy. We want to see where we can take golf multisports, the events. We want to see how many people we can inspire to fall in love with cycling.
You talked about how it was challenging when you were younger, doing so many jobs, always under stress. What do you think are the habits and beliefs that are crucial to success when it comes to entrepreneurship?
Sleep is important. Yeah, I make sure that I go to bed.
Did you sleep enough when you were working three jobs?
No, not really. That maybe when you're young you can get away with it. Yeah, but when you're 53, you need to be. I wish sometimes I would have known a bit more about recovery and sleep, because I think this is still something very important. Now I go to bed early. I go maybe to bed at 8:30, at 9 o'clock. I go to bed. I like to wake up early and go to do sports. I use that time as well to inspire myself. I listen to a lot of podcasts like yours, and to hear stories of other people and have the connection with other people and learn from other people. I think that's something very important. So always learning, I think, is one thing you should do. And then I go to work 6 days a week. On the 7 days of the week, I go and organize a cycling group with around 100 people.
So even on your day off, you're still cycling?
Yeah, you know, I don't really consider it my day off. It's just one day of a week where I go cycling, and I don't want to say I don't need a day off. It's just I'm so driven by what we're doing, and I'm so happy that I can do what I do, and I can bring so many people to the sport, that this is really a big motivation. Yes, but I have 7 days a week. So on the 6 days I'm in the office. On the 7th day I'm organizing the cycling group, and then usually the afternoon I spend with my family. Luckily, my wife, my daughter, they're both working in the business with me. So we're working together on it. So we spend a lot of time. Otherwise, I think it wouldn't maybe work. And I'm blessed that my wife and my daughter are as well passionate about.
I think it's nice having your family with you in your business, because you get to see them during work and after work as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and seeing them strive as well. My daughter's going now to Madrid to study and learn things about business, which hopefully she can bring back to us as a business and help us to develop even further. But no, it's great to have my family around. And I think I wouldn't spend so much time in the business if my wife wouldn't be there every day. And I think for both of us, it's nice to see what we have achieved and what opportunity the UE has presented to us.
Who's your role model?
I think my parents. Yeah, I had a person who was a director in the hotel which I worked. I think he was somebody who inspired me at a very young age. There's lots of people, you know. I mean, I hear and see a lot of people in the podcast I'm talking or I'm listening to. I think the leadership of the UE, I think, sets a clear signal which has influenced me over the last 22 years, where I see the level of excellence they expect from the people surrounding them, and the level of services they have created over the last 22 years. I've seen it. I've been here. Immigration services, any other service, we have seen so much development, and I think that's just inspirational what has been achieved over here. Yeah.
What do you think is the right way when it comes to doing business? Would you do things differently if you go back?
You mean sometimes you wish you had a bit more investment at the beginning, so it was very tough to grow the business very slowly with our own investment, because we never had a bank involved into our business. On hindsight, I think it's good that we didn't, because maybe we would have been more aggressive. I think it's important that you have the customer in mind, and I think this is, and I was never really driven by numbers so much. I think it was really the outcome and really the personal relationship I built with customers, that I had the feeling I was really helping them from the bottom of my heart, and really trying to please them, yeah, and as well to make sure they're happy with me. We have, for example, something we call it a happy call. We follow up with every customer when they buy a bike. We will follow up, and I think it's very important for us to see, are you really happy with the product you bought from us? And I want to know, I want to personally know, is it good or not? Yeah, and if it's not, it's my name, and it is something which is really important for me, that all of these customers are happy with what we're doing and what we're providing them and what service we're providing with them. And that's I think maybe the business secret, that we are so passionate about it. Yeah.
In 22 years of business, do you feel like you sacrificed anything personally?
You know, I mean, sometimes you look back and obviously you wanted to have some more time with my daughter, with my family, or with other things. I was now at the Paris Olympic Games, and it was the first time in my life I was in a stadium. Yeah, I've never been. I've spent a lot of time of my life working. I don't feel I missed out on things, but maybe now is a time in my life where I want to explore as well things beyond that. I spend a lot of time at work, and it's fulfilling, but at the same time you feel sometimes that I should have maybe sometimes spent more time at home. My daughter was at school. I didn't maybe have as much time. I was always very driven when it comes to my business, so sometimes maybe challenging for my team, and yeah, but overall I'm happy. I'm looking back, and I don't have regrets. And I'm happy where we are today, and I'm still 53 years young. I still have a lot of life to live, but you know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and I'm happy.
What does the future for Wolfi look like?
You know, I mean, I was thinking one day I want to kind of step aside or to step back to allow the next generation to take what they have seen from me and maybe improve this. And I don't want to be I want to lead people, but at the same time, I think it's nice as well to see if the next generation can take it to the next level and grow a business further. And sometimes if they have somebody maybe ahead of them, maybe they feel I'm in their way, or I'm not allowing them to grow as much as they want. So I'm happy to see them grow and take it to the next level. A few years back, I thought maybe with 55 I kind of retire, and I see what else can I do, what else is there something I can develop further. But I'm not sure yet, really. I haven't really thought about what the future is going, in which direction this is going. There's a lot of things to achieve in Abu Dhabi and in the UAE and in the GCC, so I haven't made up my mind exactly what's going to happen.
So there might be an expansion into other countries in the GCC?
Yes, I think the industry in the last 2 years after COVID, there was a bit of an oversupply and some challenges in the global cycling industry. And I think we need to let this settle down a little bit more and get to a more stable situation globally. Not so much in the UAE, but globally, I think the cycling market was a bit under pressure. And so we need to establish the market again and solidify everything and make sure this is working well, and then maybe we're expanding. Because I think there's a lot of people around in the GCC region which haven't had the Wolfi's experience, and we can still bring bikes to them and make sure they start cycling and enjoy the benefits of the sport.
What's your biggest fear?
I mean, no, I don't have. I don't have many fears. I think, yes, obviously when you have family and you have children, that something happens to them, that's something maybe I would fear, but I'm quite comfortable within myself. I trust in God. I think the ways are written in a way, and I'm confident in what I'm have done, what I'm doing, what my plans are. I have a good consciousness about everything I've done, so I'm happy, and I don't fear anything. I'm quite positive about the future and about what we can achieve.
What advice do you have for entrepreneurs?
I think look for a solution for a problem you think people have, and then present them a solution. And maybe in UE it was simple that people were looking to cycle, but they didn't have somebody who could repair their bike, and we needed to create facilities for that and all of it. But I think if you look for something where people have a need, and you see there's lots of people having the same need, and you can maybe start creating and bringing a solution to people, I think that's good. And then once you decided you want to go that way, put a lot of effort into it. I think this is something where, and a lot of things are not coming easy. I think you need to be ready to give many years of your life, and if you really truly believe in the story and in the work you're doing, I think then just give it your all, and really put 100% effort in the task you're given. I think today it's sometimes quite challenging for the young generation, because they see so many things on Instagram and social media where people have quickly success and so on. And I think it's not as easy. I believe you need to be very persistent and disciplined. I think discipline is something which is quite important, and you need to be challenged, and you shouldn't give up, and you should really put your best effort into the task to be successful.
My last question is, if me and you were to go cycling, who would win the race?
I haven't checked. I can't say. Yeah, maybe you're hiding some strong legs. I think we both will come out as winners. Yeah, I think maybe I will show you something. I will introduce the sport. I think we will have some good further conversations on the bike. So I'm sure when we ride it together, we both come out as better, and we will be the champions.
It was great having you, Wolfi.
Thank
you so much for sharing all this insight, and we're looking forward to seeing Wolfi succeed more and more every day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I think what you do is great. I think sharing stories of all the people who have been blessed to be in Abu Dhabi and be successful in the UE, I think it's nice. And I think hopefully it encourages other people to choose the way. Abu Dhabi is the place, and if you're really planning to be creative and open a business and be successful, Abu Dhabi is the place where dreams come true.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching us. Feel free to share your feedback and connect on our platforms. If you know someone with an inspiring story, email us at 100x.abudhabi@gmail.com. Stay tuned for more uplifting business tales.